Alright folks, so I'm going to show you a quick overview of Google Art Project, and if people haven't or if they're not familiar with this site, hopefully it'll be remotely helpful to them. So first thing I'm going to do is I go to google.com, and you can do it a couple of different ways. You can say, if you just went to Google and you typed in Google Art Project, you'll see the first one will pop up, and so that's, for me, that's the one I'm going to select. And then once you're there, there's a couple different ways that you can do this. I like hitting the collections button first and then seeing this museum view only. This is pretty neat. Some folks that have never seen this before, hopefully you've seen it specifically in some of the humanities courses, but if you haven't, it's pretty neat. So you select this little person here, and it basically becomes a first person, kind of like a Google Earth, you know, where they drive around with the cars and they take video of homes and that kind of stuff, or a bunch of single shots, and then you can kind of pan around your streets and that kind of stuff. Well, they do the same thing inside of museums, and so you can travel to Rome, Greece, wherever you'd like to, kind of from the comfort of your own home. So it's pretty neat. So what I'm going to type in here is I'm just going to type in Greece, and now I've got two museums, one actually in Athens and then the other one in Patmos in Greece, and I'm going to select, let's say I'm going to go into the monastery of St. John. So I select this one, and it's going to give me two different ways of viewing the art. I can actually select this way and kind of go through some of the pictures and slideshow here, or, which I think is kind of a neat way to do it, is to actually just hop right into the museum. And so what I did was I selected the person, but you can also do it this way. I'll go back. You can actually select this, so when you get the option of the museum view, if you pick the person, it actually puts you inside of the museum, and then it tells you which way you're looking. So right now I'm in this museum, and I can kind of turn around and kind of check out some of this art, which is pretty cool. So you're actually inside right now one of the monasteries, so you can see the chairs here and just kind of the ornateness in general. And now my parents, when I was a kid, we grew up Orthodox, and so we had a lot of this ornate kind of sort of even beyond sort of the Catholic Church. You know, there was chanting, and when I was a kid, they would have the bishops or priests come to your home and bless it on a kind of an annual basis. And I remember when my dad got a new car when I was a kid, the priest had come over and blessed his car as well. And so just a different take on some of the religion. Orthodox itself meant it means traditional, and so but you can kind of see how I'm hopping in from room to room, and I can kind of look around. So basically this gives you this sort of you know, if you're comfortable, you can kind of click through this. Some folks get a little dizzy, and so you can actually just click select on the art itself on the bottom down here, and it'll take you to some of the pieces of art that you'll want to see. But kind of cool. So if folks are interested, this is just a really quick, you know, 2 or 3 minute video on how to navigate this Google Art Project. You can also click into certain sections on this side, and it'll actually take you into different rooms. So if you get kind of dizzy and spun around, you can kind of go look around this monastery this way, and it saves you a plane ticket, and it saves you the trouble of, you know, getting hotel accommodations and worrying about where you're going to eat that night. So it's kind of a nice way to view some of these really pretty neat, and some of them are fairly expensive museums for free. All right, folks. Hopefully this is helpful.